The following is a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about them Cowboys?
Yeah! Go Cowboys! This is Media Mash,
A roundtable of Cowboys insiders
dropping wisdom
and offering sizzling takes
on the current state of your Dallas Cowboys.
Now, your host,
Newy Scruggs.
Here we are. It is time for the Media Mash. It has been requested for. People say they want it, so we are bringing you most trusted Clarence Hill, All City Dallas, the Hall of Famer Ed Werder, Channel 8, the author Jean-Jacques Taylor. He wrote the book Coach Prime. I'm Newy Scruggs. We're sponsored by nobody, but that could change one day.
I'm going to write the book on Kellen Moore.
Maybe. Yes. Howard Eskin may fight you about it, right?
He's got his own problems.
He got his own. Does he have a job right now?
He has a job, I think.
But does he still have that mink coat?
Didn't they get run out for berating some female staff or something?
Hey, man.
Well, we may find out this weekend because Philly's still playing.
Philly is still playing. Okay, let me make sure I get the proper things out of the way so I don't get in trouble. Mr. Werder,
Sir.
You had a tweet so that Deion Sanders, I'll let you go ahead and follow.
I tweeted that based on talking to people close to him, which is not Jock. Jock is not my source, just putting that out there. Avoid any confusion, that if Jerry Jones offers Deion Sanders the chance to be the next head coach, he'll almost certainly accept it, that the people around Deion are encouraging him to pursue it, and that Jerry is fascinated by the idea of it all. And let me give you a little sense of why that might be, that Jerry's fascinated and just the kind of impact hire this could be. So I basically tweeted 4 things about the NFL and the Cowboys today. One of them was about Bill Belichick and his contract status. His contract apparently is not yet signed at North Carolina, which led a lot of people to speculate about whether Jerry Jones might come in last minute and try and hire him without having to pay the $10 million. And that got 159,000 engagements. I then tweeted about Deion, what I basically just told you. That got 1.2 million engagements. Kellen Moore being interviewed by the Cowboys got 15,000 engagements. So there's Jerry's motivation right there.
How many followers you got?
250,000, 240,000.
You got a good number. You
Yeah.
got to add to them engagement. The Bill Belichick thing, let's be honest. He hadn't signed the contract, but the quid pro quo, he's
doing work.
He's working for them. That would be hard.
But you also don't forget what he did with the Jets. He took the Jets job and then hand wrote a piece of paper and handed it to him that he was resigning as the coach.
How far?
It was a while ago, but I mean,
No, what I'm saying, the time in between taking the job and walking away.
really close.
Right. This is
Manny Diaz took the job at Temple,
yeah.
then ran on off and went to Miami. Hired, working, so, I mean,
It's-
at college game.
There would be lawyers for sure.
Yeah, there'd be a lot of lawyers, and Lombardi is certainly who's been tweeting out, pushing back on all of that.
Well, Lombardi's there. He doesn't want to lose his job.
Yeah, exactly.
He won't be GM anywhere else but at North Carolina. So
Exactly.
he has that.
Regarding the Deion thing, and I respect your report.
That's fine. You can contradict it all you want.
I'm not contradicting. I'm just adding, just different perspective.
Layering?
Yeah.
Layer.
I talked to someone who spent most of the day with Deion on Tuesday.
Is it Jacques?
It wasn't.
I was here.
It was
Just gotta make sure we
former
know who's
teammate,
who.
and he said that Deion made no conversation. They're really close former teammates who's spent a lot of time with him and continue to spend a lot of time with him. They made no conversations about the Cowboys. They only talked about
His contract extension.
Colorado extension and getting things right, and Travis Hunter's situation. He spent a lot of time with. Also talked to a coach, an agent for a coach who recently re-upped with them or is recently re-upping with them, and he said anything's possible.
Yeah.
So
Anything's possible, Deion, and Jerry's proven anything's possible.
Let me give you one more layer, which is you can never forget that this man spent about 30 days in the hospital, and really nobody knew what he was doing because his circle is that tight and that loyal to
You
him.
mean his recent toe surgery?
Yeah. Because if you breach the trust of that circle, you will never get back in that circle. So the people who are the very closest to him, that would be that he might discuss these things with, they ain't really talking to nobody. And so everything we get is a word from a word from a word. Doesn't mean it's not true. It just means that, it's been my experience that, he just doesn't reveal a lot of what his real thoughts are to people. Now, just like y'all, I talked to some people out in Colorado.
That being said,
and I went the other approach. Now, these people would probably be the last to know, but I went to some of those recent recruits, some of those people that he flipped, some of those people that he convinced to come in the last 2 weeks, and they were all like, God, we hope he stays, but he's giving us no indication that our kids don't have any. Not that they really would, because these things happen, as a friend of mine once said very early this morning, in a cloak and dagger style, and it becomes at 9 o'clock he was our coach, and at 10 o'clock he was not our coach because why? Sports is fluid.
Right.
and I'm not saying I think it's going to happen. In fact, I've had people close to him tell me they don't think it's going to happen, and they would bet that it's not going to happen.
That would be me.
But that was not you either. But the point is, the first person that we know Jerry reached out to, and Deion was very careful to make sure that as you described the conversation, it was Jerry who initiated the phone call. And Jerry has surprised us in this realm how many times before? Like, trying to predict his behavior in hiring a coach is a totally dangerous game.
No. There's no doubt. And you said enamored. I remember Jerry being enamored with Johnny Manziel.
And it almost happened.
I know, but he was stopped from being,
And he was also enamored with Deion as a player, and he was almost stopped by Stephen Jones, who might be trying to do the same thing right now.
He was enamored with Terrell Owens. I mean, I'm just saying. But most recently, though that was years ago, he's been stopped from being, things he's been enamored with.
I've seen nothing to suggest that what Jerry was 30 years ago is different than what Jerry is now.
Well, let's talk about this from another perspective. What does Deion want from the job other than it's the Cowboys' job, and is that enough?
To the NFL. It's a highest level of competition there is. There's not anything in that alluring to him.
That's never
as
been
a competitor.
That's never been an allure for him. I mean, and I've had a bunch of conversations with him over the last several years about college football, the NFL, and not once has his whole thing has been, I don't want to deal with the professional athlete that's in the league today. I like these guys who.
Oh, the guys he has are just like professional athletes.
Well, they're moving that way, and so that.
But he also has control over the money. It's like he tweeted the other day. If you're great, we're taking your money.
Right.
If you
your
don't,
grades fall.
We're taking your money. He tweeted like, he's smoking weed. You're out of here. He has more control over those guys than he would have over NFL players.
And the guy that's really, he's like he probably would be more like Jimmy or Parcells than anybody else. He ain't really no fun to play with in a lot of cases.
Play for.
Because he's so demanding and he don't have no filter. He's curt. He is hard on them dudes, and it would be a fascinating look to see if it would work in the NFL. And
he's going to try it at some point.
And one thing that we talked about this morning, you could expound even further, but everybody think they have a chummy relationship. Okay, he and Jerry, but having a chummy relationship and working together is two different things because Deion is as much a dictator as Jerry is. He's a guy that wants final say
on everything.
Well, he knows he's not getting that here.
Well, then that's part of it, because he gonna want final say on the roster and different things like that.
On the coaching staff,
not just that, he got his own PR guy and
his own camera crews.
Right, and how does that all fit with what the Cowboys do? And because my brand is Deion Sanders and well-off media that my son does, and we got our own thing going over here. And how does that fit into what the Cowboys do and what the Cowboys?
There's going to be more in-house camera people over here than you've ever seen in your life.
Netflix out.
So
everybody got to sign waivers on.
And now I'll be in the locker room. You'll be back in the locker room.
You know what? Perhaps there is some good for you.
I'll be back in the locker room. But yeah, it's the thing that on the flip side, and we talked about, this whole process. Usually the process when a college coach leaves is in the dark of the night because you don't really go through an interview process. My agent talked to your agent, all of a sudden we got a deal, and you leave and all the players are find out at the last minute. With the NFL process, you got to do these interviews, and you go through this second round of interviews. How does that work with a college coach who's recruiting and got these families and players worrying about the future. People use that for negative recruiting against you. Because even if you talk to the Cowboys, you don't go next year. It's still on the table.
Gets used against you.
It gets used against you. It definitely gets used. If ultimately you want to stay, it's going to be used against you every time another coach talks to a recruit you're talking to. You know he's going to lead to the NFL. You see, he thought about it last year, or even some of these recruits you have now. I'm here this year, but I don't know. I'm going to have to be in the portal next year because I don't know what Deion's going to do.
So I would argue that college players are more like professional players now than ever before, and college coaches have less control over their players than they've ever had before. And I would say to the point about, well, he said he would only go to the NFL to coach his sons. How do you get around that? Because he can't come here and coach Deion Sanders because the Cowboys are picking 12th and they've committed the most money ever to their quarterback, and it just starts this next year. It's $100 million to cut Dak, and you can't trade him. He has a no-trade clause.
Yeah, but he understands. He's not coaching his son.
If I'm Jerry, the way I get around that is, well, you're not going to coach your kids at Colorado.
Right.
So what's the difference? If you're not going to coach them here, you're not going to coach them there. It doesn't make any difference. Go coach them in Tennessee.
All I know is this, that Colorado cannot let him get leave. I mean, that would upset the whole apple cart there. I mean, everything about that program is centered around Deion.
The great bit about that point is a lot of people say, oh, how can you turn down the Cowboys? It's the Cowboys, it's the ego. Nah, dog, I can be for Colorado what Bear Bryant is to Alabama, or Dabo is to Clemson, or Woody Hayes and both simply are to Schembechler, because I know y'all think I'm
Did you really say Woody Hayes?
Yeah, Woody Hayes, because he started.
No.
He started.
Don't get punched.
I was going to say, I'll punch you.
Don't
Did
get
you really
punched.
put Woody Hayes in this Bear Bryant, Nick
wanted to say-
Saban?
Yeah, Nick Saban.
Do y'all have a statue of Woody?
Yeah.
No.
We don't?
Urban Meyer.
You ain't got no
We ain't
statue.
got no. We got a statue of Bucks Brutus.
Is it worth noting that the two coaches Jerry's hired who were most successful with the Cowboys and won Super Bowls were coaches who had no NFL coaching experience and came from college or had retired from college? Jimmy and Barry?
You're going to put Barry in there? You're going to really put Barry in there?
so let
He
me-
won with
I said
Jimmy's
he was
guys.
retired.
One with Jimmy's guys.
I know how he won. I was there.
I'm just
What?
saying. It's not act like he was an architect or something.
I didn't say he was an architect. I said he was a coach of a winning Super Bowl team.
He was the architect of their demise.
So let's dive into a little bit of what Aikman said pertain this to Deion in college coaching. Is the Colorado job a better job because he has the ability to have whatever say he wants at Colorado versus you come here,
No.
he's not the general manager.
First of all, Colorado's not a better job than the Cowboys.
If you're
Let's
the
just stop
first
there.
coach to lead the Cowboys to a Super Bowl in 30 years, that's bigger than anything you can do in Colorado.
Okay.
This is true.
It's just not a better job than the Cowboys.
I said based on having the ability.
Right. He does have autonomy there.
No, yeah,
that
but
he's not.
That's all it is. I'm not saying.
Yeah.
I'm not saying. I'm talking about the ability for you to run your own show.
Yeah. Now, we talked about
That's
that.
what I'm
'cause
talking about.
That thing in Colorado is unique because it's built around him. That's what we talked about. Everything about Colorado is built around him. Would that be the same with the Cowboys?
That's my point.
No.
Does he have?
He'll
a
never
better-
have the autonomy anywhere else that he has at Colorado.
Right. That's why I'm asked. That's my point of asking. Is it a better job because you get to be the guy?
Depends on what you're in it for.
You're not worried about. You're doing the radio show. You don't have to worry about a press conference going on while you do that. I mean, from that standpoint.
What time's
that's-
our practice? I got Fox at 4:30. Yeah.
That's my question. Not about. I mean, we know the Cowboys are the Cowboys. The Lakers are the Lakers.
I'm just
the
saying,
Yankees are the Yankees.
what you could accomplish here is far more long-standing and legendary than anything you can do at Colorado.
Yeah.
But he's not going to be able to do it his way, like he can at Colorado.
Right. He'll snatch the trophy out of your hands when they win it. So
Deion did that. He ran off the field in Arizona with the trophy to the locker room. Deion did it. Not Troy, not Michael, not Emmett, not Woody. Deion.
not Larry Allen.
Deion.
Prime.
Nobody could catch him.
All right, let's get a break in here. Let's talk about Keelan, as Stephen Jones calls
Keelan.
Kellen Moore. Keelan.
Parcell? Coach Purcell?
We got to talk about more than Keelan. We got,
We'll get on the
we
list.
got Leslie and we got Robert Sala.
You know you get yelled at every time you start trying to produce the show, man.
Keelan.
Hey, I'm just
Man,
glad-
I already got a hefty raise for coming in on the offseason. I mean,
You got a raise?
I'm sure he did.
Yeah, we'll get your Rooney Rule candidates for you as well, Clarence. Okay, we'll get to that. We'll let you rail. We'll get all that in here with most trusted Clarence Hill, the Hall of Famer Ed Werder, the author of the book Coach Prime, Jean-Jacques Taylor. I'm Newy Scruggs. This is Media Mash on DallasCowboys.com.
How do you tell the world about all the great gifts in the Yeti store? Let her rip, Troy.
All right, folks, let's get started with the Yeti French Press. Enjoy coffee that stays hot for hours in a French press. 34 ounce for you, 6'4" for the cruise. The Yeti French Press. Hot mix waterproof bags. Bags waterproof. Submersible waterproof doubles. Waterproof bags. World's mostly water, so get a waterproof Yeti bag. Do I smell something cooking? Oh, new cast iron skillets made to be passed down like Mama's recipes. Take your steak, cornbread, cobbers, pot pie, and potatoes, and next oval with 3 sizes of Yeti cast iron skillets.
Gear, gifts, and product experts. Visit the Yeti store on McKinney Street and at South Lake Town Square today.
How's Wingstop sound? Crispy, juicy classic wings, sauced and tossed in those 11 soul-satisfying flavors. Paired with hand-cut seasoned fries, house-made honey mustard, blue cheese, or signature Wingstop ranch. I think you've heard enough. Get your flavor delivered at wingstop.com.
This is Nate Newton from Hanging with the Boys, and Wingstop is here to bring the flavor to game day as the official wings of the Dallas Cowboys. Order now by downloading the Wingstop app or ordering online at wingstop.com.
Hey, Cowboys fans, a 2024 football season is here, and SeatGeek is here to help you experience all the action. SeatGeek makes it easy to find tickets so you can be a part of all the touchdown celebrations this season. Whether you're buying or selling tickets to Cowboys football games or to any other live event, SeatGeek is the place to do it. SeatGeek is the official primary ticketing partner of the Dallas Cowboys. The most disruptive idea in ticketing? A ticket that works. Expect the expected. SeatGeek.
How about them Cowboys? Or how about them Tyson Cowboys Nuggets? As we cheer for the stars on the field, we love that we've also got some stars on our plate, thanks to Tyson brand star-shaped Cowboys Nuggets. They sure make game day special, and for every purchase of the new Tyson Cowboys Nuggets this holiday season, Tyson Foods will donate $1 to the Salvation Army up to $100,000. As you enjoy your stars on and off the plate, remember, tailgates and game day have always been Tyson.
Back to Media Mash.
Here we are, Media Mash on DallasCowboys.com. Jean-Jacques Taylor, Ed Werder. We got Clarence Hill. I'm Newy Scruggs. Okay. Kellen Moore. That's today's latest interview that will happen. It's going to happen virtually, I'm told. So, Ed, Eagles are getting ready to face play in the playoffs. This is Kellen's opportunity.
They play the Rams.
His opportunity to get further than the Cowboys have had in his tenure here as a player and assistant coach.
To get to the divisional championship game.
Yes, get to a championship game here. And his answer...
That's because his team beat the 7th seed last week.
like every other team that's ever played.
like the 8 other ones that did.
Digging all the way into it. Just digging all the way into this.
Just putting it in context.
You are very much. I don't know. Who was the last team that lost to a 7 seed? The only team that lost to a 7 seed?
Yeah, Dallas Cowboys.
Yeah, okay.
Down 27-0.
The last, only, what do you mean? It's only one.
So I want Ed to get the knife all the way in.
What happened one time?
I don't twist. I just put it in. I would just say that it's stop it. Talking about knives. Talking about knives.
I was going to say that's that BYU method.
It is.
You believe that?
Hey, let's shake it. Shake it up.
That's what you do when you
Somebody else jumps on the bed.
It was nice having one off-season show. Hope you liked it.
Get in there. Bleed now.
You Mormon?
Now I need an ice cold Dr. Pepper to wash it down.
Sorry, Ed.
Go ahead, Ed. Go ahead, Ed. Finish up.
I got 2 kids. I ain't worried.
Finish up, Ed.
So as it turns out, Kellen Moore, the former offensive coordinator, who relinquished his spot here in Dallas so that Mike McCarthy could call the plays, he winds up being the first known interview, to replace Mike McCarthy as the Cowboys head coach. They're going to interview him virtually. Interview can't last more than 3 hours. Seems a ridiculous time for a coach who has a big game coming up 48 hours later to be spending any time interviewing with 3 NFL teams about his next job when all these coaches are telling the players to focus on what's at hand. It's an absurd proposition. But yeah, I think he would probably be my favorite if I was handicapping. I think he's the one who best fits the criteria that Jerry uses to determine these sorts of things. I mean, he's almost like he's got the same biography as Jason Garrett.
Now, do you think he would be a good head coach?
That's 2 different conversations.
I think
I know it's 2 different conversations.
I think I would be willing to give him the chance.
Really?
I know. I mean, you can't question how good he is as a play caller. We've seen it. He has a relationship with Dak. He has a relationship with everybody in the building. He knows how this organization functions and dysfunctions. And I think the biggest question people would have about Kellen Moore is, does he have the right temperament? Does he have the right personality? Can he really be a leader of an entire team in the way that a head coach does? And I think that's a hard thing to know. Because when Matt LaFleur left Tennessee as the offensive coordinator, left Mike Vrabel's staff to go to Green Bay, I had people telling me this is a huge mistake the Packers have made. This guy cannot command the room. Well, he inherited Aaron Rodgers, and he's done nothing but win since he's been in Green Bay. So, like I said, I think that's a hard thing to judge.
I think the way and I don't know about Kellen, but the way you go about it is, and you can't talk to Dak because he's biased, but you got to talk to everybody else who's been in those offensive meetings, and it's not just how he drew it up and how he installed it, but when you messed up for the 3rd time, did he say, hey, guys, try to be better? Or did he, jump you the way a coach typically jumps a player when they've made the same mistake multiple times?
Let's be honest.
No, we've been dishonest so far.
And I know that if you're a Cowboy fan, does Kellen Moore excite you?
No.
If he wins.
I'm talking about going into
Can
the
Jerry
process.
sell it to the fan base? No, not like Pete Carroll or Deion or who else would be a prominent Ben Johnson. Belichick and Vrabel. Yeah, those would have been my first 2 picks, Belichick and Vrabel. If he had done it last year, he could have probably had either one of them.
Yeah, we've covered Kellen Moore. I don't know if he can command the room. He certainly doesn't command the press conference. He doesn't win the press conference at all. He's kind of mealy-mouthed. He doesn't, really talk with any conviction. I mean, Shoddy is better in the press conference, if you want to ask. And I don't know how much that means.
Well, nobody's better than Bones.
Well, no doubt. But, yeah. But I'm just saying, though, so I wonder what it would look like, him being a leader of the team. Yes, he had success with Dak under Jason's system. I know when he went with the Chargers, he had like the 21st ranked offense with a quarterback who's supposed to be, the next
one of the most talented ever.
And in Philadelphia, they have like the 29th ranked offense, and he has 2 of the best receiver tandems in the league.
The 29th ranked offense.
I mean, passing
offense.
Passing offense. I'm talking about passing.
Well, that's because they got a 2,000-yard rusher.
Well, they won't have it.
So isn't that smart? Like, doesn't that show that he's able to adjust what he does to fit the personnel he has? Like, here he's throwing the ball, and Dak's got a career-high 37 touchdown passes. He's got Saquon Barkley. He rushes for 2,000 yards. Like, that's what I want.
I agree. I think we'll find out a lot about the Kellen Moore candidacy, whether they put out this weekend.
All right, so let's now move to Robert Saleh. Former Jets head coach, was the 49ers defensive coordinator when they ended up losing Super Bowl to Kansas City. Also was an assistant for Pete Carroll when they won Super Bowl 48 in Seattle. All right, most trusted, Robert Saleh, your thoughts?
Robert Saleh is a legitimate candidate in my book. I think he got a raw deal with the Jets. Certainly was very respected coming out of San Francisco when he got the Jets head coaching job. He's a guy who is part of the circuit. He's interviewing with the Raiders, that he's interviewing with the Jaguars, interviewing with and going to interview with the Cowboys, and so keeping that team together, dealing with Woody Johnson, dealing with Aaron Rodgers. I think he has the temperament to handle the Cowboys situation. The question is, who would be his offense coordinator? Who does he bring?
Well, he didn't win. First of all, he hadn't been in he hasn't made the playoffs ever as a head coach.
No, the defense was.
I'm not saying it's his fault.
No, that's not.
But yeah, I think the question is, can he run the defense? Yeah, I think he'd be great running the defense, and maybe he's your defensive coordinator if he's not your next head coach.
Right.
So let me ask this question, because when someone was talking to me about it, I said, because they were basically, why him? And I said, what if he's another Todd Bowles? People said, oh, he was with the Jets, Todd Bowles. Well, clearly we saw Todd Bowles could coach. It's hard to coach the Jets in that organization.
No doubt. I think that's part of the conversation. And their defense was top 5 in the league when he was coaching there. And so he can run the defense. Again, it depends on who he's going to get as your offense coordinator if he's your head coach. But again, as Ed pointed out, and with the Cowboys, you just don't know what the motives are. And that's because they
talk about the Rooney Rule compliance.
Yes. I mean, it's interesting that an organization who's had just 2 minority coordinators in their history, Maurice Carthon and Brian Stewart, in their history, never had a black head coach, especially in light of what the sham job that the Patriots did with their bringing in Pep Hamilton and Brian Leftwich before they hired their guy that they wanted to hire. The first 2 names that comes out of legitimate interviews before the Kellen Moore today was Robert Saleh and Leslie Frazier. And as I said, Robert Saleh is a legitimate candidate. Where's Leslie Frazier coming from? And listen, knowing Leslie, longtime defense coordinator, head coach of the Vikings from 2010 to 2013, most recently the defensive coordinator of Buffalo from 2017 to 2022 before he was let go. Did not coach in 2023, is currently the assistant head coach in Seattle because they got a young coach and they wanted him up there. But nobody has put Leslie Frazier in any conversation.
Didn't get a single interview last year in the coaching cycle.
Yeah, and so where is he coming from? Is this about the Rooney Rule?
Well, it could be about that, or it could be we want to talk to you about our head coaching job, and when you get here, what we really want to talk to you about is being our defensive coordinator if we hire so-and-so.
Well, again, and to me, that's dirty pool. I mean, don't bring me in to be my defense coordinator. Don't interview for my head coaching job to be my defense coordinator. I mean, that's not the spirit of the rule.
You don't want to be slick.
Yeah, that's not the spirit. The same thing with Roberts. That's not the spirit. That's not what it's for.
Clarence, we're bringing you in to interview you for the general sports columnist job. And while you're here, if we don't hire you for that, how would you feel about being the Cowboys beat writer?
Again.
How much they paying?
Better than nothing, right? Better than no offer?
It is better than no offer, but we're talking about the spirit of the rule and what we're trying to do. That's what I'm dealing with. I understand people will take those jobs. My other problem is this, and this is why the process is messy for me, and we can get into the Jason Witten stuff.
He can say he seriously is considering Deion for the job.
Right. This is my problem with the mess, because which has been a 30-year problem, because Jerry's trying to control things, okay? If I'm hiring somebody head coach, I want them to pick their coordinator. I want them to pick their tight ends coach. Don't pick nobody from my staff before I get here. Okay? Don't interview people from my staff before I decide who I want on my staff. Because as most head coaching candidates, including Kellen Moore and anybody else, they already got ideas who they want on their staff. Every offensive head coach has an idea who, if I get this job, who my defense coordinator is going to be. Who my tight end coach is going to be, who my offense line coach is going to be. Every defense coach
How long
has
you
an
been
idea.
here?
I understand that. That's my problem with the process.
Well, when
I'm talking about the process, the rotten process.
Way back when.
That's what I'm talking about.
Well, they're talking about 2 different things. One's on an NFL level, and the other one's a more local issue.
Well, we're talking about the Cowboys.
The Cowboys, well, but the Rooney Rule issue is league-wide.
Listen. It's the fruit of the same poisonous tree.
Well, it's 2 things. But Clarence is right. Like way back when I was covering the beat, you used to ask up-and-coming assistants, if you ever got a job, who'd be your guy? That way, when they get a job, you already got an edge on it. But the other thing is, if you take a bigger look at the Rooney Rule and take a bigger look, I can't remember which one, not micro, but and say, how do people get hired? They get hired because they say, Ed, I'm looking for something. Do you know anybody? Clarence, I'm looking for somebody. Do you know anybody? You go, oh, yeah, I know Newy and I know Jacques. So
Personal recommendation.
Either one's fine. So some of this Rooney Rule stuff is just, you going in just so you can do the Mike Tomlin. I interviewed well. You didn't need me. Oh, you need a coach? Oh, I just interviewed this young guy. Blew me away. I didn't have room for him for whatever reason. Boom. And so it's not the preferred method, but it's better than you never get in front of them to talk it off.
No, that's the spirit of the rule, and I'm glad we brought it, because Mike Tomlin seemed like he's an outlier. Because, only Mike Tomlin got hired that way.
By the very people who the rule is named after.
Right. But yes, that's the spirit of the rule. But what I'm saying is that what the Patriots did is not about getting in the room and, hey, I know this guy. It's about, let's just cursory interview these guys so I can hire my guy.
Check.
And my point is, it's interesting that the first two names that came out, maybe coincidentally or not.
You think they knew Saleh was a Rooney Rule candidate?
Yeah, see, they knew he's Lebanese. Yeah, everybody knows that.
Yes.
Hey.
Everybody knows that.
He
ain't white.
The Patriots might have been able to make
that third-round pick, that third-round pick to hire him.
Yeah.
The Patriots might have made it look better if they weren't feeling like if they were going to get Vrabel, they had to act fast.
Right.
They were afraid he was going to go somewhere else.
Right. And they acted fast. And the dirty thing about it is the tweet. It was a tweet. It was a tweet.
That they interviewed these two?
No.
They tweeted.
They put them out on the same
They
post.
put them in the same tweet. Everybody else got individual tweets. These two guys got one tweet.
Well, social media intern about to go to lunch. He didn't have time to
Put them in the same.
Hey, guys, who brought the black guy? Crisscross here.
Goodell's working to revise that. Each candidate must have his own tweet.
I mean, if the tweet like, really, can you?
2 for 1 here.
Like the 2 for 1.
2 for Tuesday.
Everybody else got to go back and look at their social media, and every other interview got their own tweet. These two guys got one tweet.
When we come back.
If we come back.
If you had a conversation with Jerry, if you went right upstairs, because we're at the Star, Jerry called you upstairs and said, who should I hire? Can I ask everybody here on the panel, who would they tell Jerry to hire?
Okay.
That's next, right here on the Media Mash on DallasCowboys.com.
Star Sports Tours is the only official fan travel partner of the Dallas Cowboys, offering exclusive game weekend travel packages with pre-game sideline access and photo ops with current players, cheerleaders, and Cowboy legends. You want to stay at a team hotel, attend the best tailgate party in Texas, tour the Star, and talk X's and O's with me, Everson Walls? With Star Sports Tours, you can. Visit cowboystravel.com to book your travel package today.
Hey Cowboy fans, I'm Dak Prescott, quarterback of the Dallas Cowboys. But lately, I've been learning a new game, crypto. Sound confusing? Don't worry, even us pros were rookies in crypto once. That's why I trust blockchain.com. They make crypto easy. No confusing jargon, just the tools to help you win.
Prescott keeps it, slides with a first down.
Invest like your icons, where everyone is a rookie in crypto with blockchain.com.
Perfect throw, my goodness. Wow, did he ever thread the needle.
Visit blockchain.com/Cowboys to get started.
Star Sports Tours is the only official fan travel partner of the Dallas Cowboys, offering exclusive game weekend travel packages with pre-game sideline access and photo ops with current players, cheerleaders, and Cowboy legends. You want to stay at a team hotel, attend the best tailgate party in Texas, tour the Star, and talk X's and O's with me, Everson Walls? With Star Sports Tours, you can. Visit cowboystravel.com to book your travel package today.
Cowboys football and Miller Lite. What a pairing. Can cracks at kickoff. Tailgates going way past postgame. Sunday night overtimes followed by Monday morning swagger. Brisket in the smoker. Miller Lite in the cooler. America's team playing America's greatest sport. Miller Lite, the only beer of the Dallas Cowboys. Dallas Cowboys football tastes like Miller time. Celebrate responsibly. 2023 Miller Brewing Company, Fort Worth, Texas.
Back to Media Mash.
Here we are back on the Media Mash. We've discussed Robert Saleh. We've discussed Leslie Frazier. We've discussed Kellen Moore. So I ask each panelist, if Jerry Jones called you up to his office upstairs here at the Star, who would you say, Jerry, you should hire? Jacques Taylor, go.
I'd say, hey, man, go get Ben Johnson. There, very simple. Offensive guy. He's first-time coach. I know you don't like that, but get over yourself. I like the fact that he throws a hook and ladder more than once. I like that he coaches with attitude, as evidenced by the tackle-eligible plays in Dallas. And, let's take a walk on the wild side. Have some fun.
Edward or Hall of Famer, what you got?
I could have said Deion to line my pockets.
I would have.
I'm trying to be a team player for Jerry.
I'm interested in Pete Carroll, but I too would probably hire Ben Johnson because if no quarterback in the NFL succeeded from under center play action passing than Jared Goff did this year, and that's the way I think Dak Prescott has to be used in his age 32 and beyond season. And I think that's what this hire is all about. This hire is all about Dak. You're the last one who has a shot to get Dak Prescott to a Super Bowl, in all likelihood. He's going to be 32 and coming off of 2 leg injuries in the last 5 years. Who do you want in that position to create the right offense, to call the right plays? And I know Ben Johnson doesn't have any history of running an entire team, but he's been influenced by Dan Campbell. Look he was a part of something huge. Nobody thought the Lions could be what they are now. They're 27-7 the last 2 years. That's the best record in the NFL. So for all of those reasons, I would hire Ben Johnson, but primarily because he coaches the kind of offense Dak will thrive in.
Now, Chill is going to say you're going to bring all that talent with him?
No,
yes.
No, that's on the people here to get him the talent.
Well, there goes the problem. I would say Aaron Glenn. You know, I want a leader. You know, and there's a guy who trained under Bill Parcells. You know, and is familiar with the Cowboys, familiar with the process. But just listening to him talk, he's a leader. You know, and I think he can hire the right people. He has the right temperament to coach today's athletes. That's my guy. The problem that we're all have with all of our choices is the rotten process the Cowboys had dealt with, because they can't talk to them to potentially until after the Super Bowl. Not Ben Johnson, not Aaron Glenn, because they waited a week because they were on a bye. You could only start the process with those guys last week when they were on a bye. Now they cannot interview them until after potentially the Super Bowl.
All right. I'm going to go with a leader of men, somebody who's been in the building, Rich Bisaccia. I am a person who believes that being able to get in front of the room like special teams coaches do, I think that matters. I thought Rich did a heck of a job after that whole Gruden debacle happened with the Raiders. He kept that ship afloat. They made the playoffs. They had a heck of a game against Cincinnati, in which they lost. That Cincinnati team ended up going to the Super Bowl. And I look at special teams coaches from the past. Dick Vermeil, NFL's first ever special teams coach, won a Super Bowl. Bill Belichick's first job in the league, special teams coach. Bill won 6 Super Bowls. Bill Cowher, former special teams coach, won a Super Bowl. And we look at what John Harbaugh is doing out there with the Baltimore Ravens. Is it sexy? No.
Is it effective?
Is it effective? Yes. I mean, Rich damn near fought Greg Hardy on the sidelines up in New Jersey during the game.
He was the only one who took issue with that, his behavior in public.
And yeah, so to me, it's not a sexy hire, it's not a brand name, but I want some substance.
But he hasn't even gotten interviewed anywhere, right?
And therein lies the problem. Therein lies the problem where if you need to dig deeper. You need to look and say, what rock are we not looking under? I do believe that along the way, how come we're seeing these special teams guys who touch every part of your football team, who have to get up for the football team, and they hardly ever interview them? I don't get it. But Rich has done the job, and I thought he did a real good job with the Raiders, and they've been searching for somebody to lead that franchise since then.
And he transformed Green Bay special teams in 1 year.
Everywhere he goes, he wins. Everywhere he goes, he's been a part of some winning teams. So that's my opinion. I know you roll your eyes.
Is he a client? I do know he's a client.
Oh, no, he's not. He's not. No, not a client.
The problem with hiring a special teams guy like that, or the problem with hiring a defensive-oriented coach, is if you wind up with a good offensive coach and a good offensive player and he's not your head coach, you're going to lose him.
And look, I am second behind you with Aaron Glenn. Once again, a leader of men.
Yeah.
Only thing with Rich is Rich has done it. Aaron has not done it. But I do believe that both guys, because I'm not here, no offense to the bench, I ain't here for the joystick guys. Jimmy ain't call no plays. You can't have Dan Campbell's not calling any plays. Can you get up there and lead the room? That's what you need. And you're dealing with Jerry.
Right.
Somebody that can deal with all that too.
You talked about selling it to the fan base. How are you going to sell that?
You know what?
Yeah. Win.
Well, I mean, win. But hey, man, he said he wanted a 365-day soap opera. So get up there, Jerry. Do what you do. And
my thing is, I was talking to a player last week, and we get caught up into familiarity and all former. Why can't the Cowboys be like the Rams and go outside the box? I mean, who knew McVay?
30 years old.
What's wrong with outside the box hire?
North was outside the box hire. Wide receiver coach, not a coordinator.
Why you can't find somebody like that? I mean, we get so caught up into familiarity.
Well, doesn't Kellen Moore fit that profile?
No.
Young offensive play caller.
Because of the familiarity. Because it's like the only reason he's connected here so strongly is because he was here.
Well, because he performed well here. The quarterback performed well here. We just talked about, or I talked about,
Well, he performed well,
what an
though.
important hire this is for Dak Prescott.
Yeah.
And I think Dak would react pretty well to Kellen
No,
Moore.
I agree. I'm just saying outside. I don't think that's outside the box. That's all I'm saying. There's something that we don't have a.
Right. Oh, how about Josh McCown? He was talked about 3 years ago being the Texans head coach, so they were kind of floating that out there.
Is he coaching anywhere?
Yeah, he's with Minnesota.
Okay, he's with Minnesota.
I can't let us leave the show without getting the thoughts about Jason Witten. His name has been rumored out there as well. How does Jason?
Again, that's my problem when I talked about the fact that you're already and Jason Witten will most likely one day be a fine coach, and I think he's doing a good job at college. But the fact that Jerry's mentioning
High school, Jason, high school.
Yeah, high school. I'm sorry. Did I say college?
Yeah.
I'm sorry. The fact that Jerry's interjecting him into conversation, whether he was going to be the coaching waiting with the Parcells
Don't
staff.
nobody want to wait on the coach, on the staff, if you're a coach, because all you can do is view him the way people view Jason Garrett with Wade Phillips. Like, either you're telling on me or you're just waiting for me to fail so you can get my job.
It's going to be like when he goes to Monday Night Football. He'll be similarly overmatched as going from high school to the NFL as a head coach of this franchise.
Right.
And I love Jason Witten, and I have no doubt Jerry is going to try and put him on whoever the next coach here. He's going to try and put him on that person's staff. And in some places it'll probably fit, and in others, like with Mike McCarthy when he tried to do it with Mike 5 years ago, Mike saw what happened with Jason Garrett and Wade Phillips. He's too smart to repeat that. Would Pete Carroll accept him and not be threatened? Maybe. Would Kellen Moore? Absolutely not.
With Deion? I don't think so.
Okay. All right. Fellas, this was fun.
It was.
Appreciate it. Hey, man, good luck. Good luck to your Buckeyes. Good luck to your Buckeyes.
I handled myself with grace and dignity for most of the game. In the
You got time to get petty. You got time for petty.
No, I was petty after the game. I would say I behaved myself except for when Henderson went 75 yards on the screen and when Sawyer returned the fumble. Outside of that,
Don't tell him where you were. Don't tell him where you were.
I was in a suite full of Texas
I got
fans.
a picture.
Oh, you got the video too?
I got a picture. Hey, look. Good luck to you. Good luck to you. I'll be rooting for Notre Dame. All right. Clarence.
Boy, that's on point. That's on point.
Dirty, though. Dirty.
No, appreciate you, Kyle.
Hey, let's do this again next week if we're not fired.
Next Wednesday.
Clarence will let us know. Goodbye.
This has been a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about them Cowboys?